Welcome seekers of knowledge and believers in the unseen to the resilient Islam. On this channel, we embark on journeys through the sacred narratives that define our faith, seeking not just historical accounts, but the timeless wisdom and spiritual truths embedded. Today, we traverse one of the most captivating and profound paths in Islamic theology, the belief in those chosen servants of Allah whose earthly journey was not concluded by death, but who continue to exist in a state ordained by divine will. In the vast and intricate tapestry of Islamic belief, the stories of the prophets form a golden thread, connecting humanity to the divine through a lineage of guidance, trial, and unwavering faith. These narratives, chronicled in the Quran and the rich collections of Hadith, are not merely historical accounts to be remembered. They are living lessons, moral compasses that continue to guide the hearts and minds of over 1 billion believers across the globe. While the earthly journeys of most prophets have concluded, their legacies endure. However, Islamic tradition holds a unique and captivating belief that among this noble chain of messengers, 4 were granted an exceptional status, not of death, but of a prolonged life sustained by the divine will of Allah. They exist beyond the conventional boundaries of time and space, serving specific, ongoing roles within the cosmic order. This script delves into the lives, missions, and mysteries of these 4 eternal figures: Prophet Idris, Enoch, Prophet Khidr, the Green One, Prophet Ilyas, Elijah, and Prophet Isa, Jesus, son of Mary. We will explore the textual evidence from the Quran and Sunnah that forms the basis of this belief, examine the nuanced nature of their existence, delve into the scholarly interpretations across centuries, and reflect on the profound spiritual lessons their continued presence imparts to the Muslims. Their stories challenge our perception of life and death, reaffirm the limitless power of Allah, and offer a glimpse into the unseen world that coexists with our own. A central theme we explore here on the Path of the Prophets is the concept of life and death in Islam, the framework of existence. To truly understand the phenomenon of the living prophets, one must first grasp the Islamic perspective on life and death. The very fabric of creation in Islam, life, al-hayat, is a sacred trust, amana, from Allah, the Creator and the ultimate cause of all existence. It is a temporary test, a fleeting opportunity for the soul to know its Lord, worship Him, and earn its place in the eternal abode. Death, al-maut, is not an end in itself, but a transition, a return to the Creator, and a doorway to the next stage of existence in the hereafter. The Quran states unequivocally, every soul will taste death. Surah Al-Miran, Fairy, 5. This divine decree is absolute and applies to all of creation, from the smallest creature to the greatest of prophets. The exception, of course, is Allah Himself, the ever-living, Al-Hayy, the self-subsisting, Al-Qayyum. The belief in 4 prophets still alive, therefore, does not contradict this universal principle. Rather, it is understood as a magnificent manifestation of Allah's absolute power, Qadra, to suspend the natural order He Himself created. Their continued life is not intrinsic to their nature, but is a miraculous gift, mu'jiza, bestowed upon them by direct divine command. They are alive because Allah wills them to be alive for a wisdom hikmah that He alone fully knows. Their existence is a testament to the fact that the laws of nature are subservient to the will of the lawgiver. It is a reminder that the universe operates not on blind, mechanical principles, but under the direct and conscious supervision of its Creator, who can alter its course at any moment for His divine purpose. This understanding is the first step on our path, allowing us to appreciate these miracles not as breaks in divine law, but as affirmations of the divine lawgiver's ultimate authority. 1. Prophet Idris, Enoch. The elevated sage, a celestial pioneer on the path. Prophet Idris is a figure shrouded in the mists of antiquity, mentioned briefly in the Quran, but holding a position of immense significance and mystery. He is often identified with the biblical Enoch and is revered in Islamic tradition as a pioneer of human civilization, credited with the knowledge of writing, astronomy, mathematics, and the art of tailoring skills that elevated human society. The primary evidence for his living status comes from the Quran itself. Allah says, and mention in the book Idris, indeed he was a man of truth and a prophet, and we raised him to a high station. Surah Maryam, 1956-57. The key phrase here is we raised him to a high station. Wa rafa'nahu makanan aliyya. This phrase has been the subject of deep exegesis, tafsir, by classical scholars, while some, like Imam Tabari, noted interpretations that this raising was one of spiritual state, a significant and respected body of scholarly opinion, including powerful narrations from companions like Ibn Abbas and Hassan al-Basri, holds that it refers to a physical raising of Idris, as to the heavens, much like Prophet Isa. This interpretation is strongly supported by hadith literature. In the famous and miraculous narration of the night journey, Al-Isra, and ascension Al-Maraj, the Prophet Muhammad SAW is reported to have encountered Idris, as in the fourth heaven during his ascension. This encounter is not with a spirit or a memory, but implies a conscious, living presence. The nature of his life is a profound mystery. He exists in a realm beyond our earthly perception, a witness to the passage of ages from his celestial station. Scholars suggest he resides in a state similar to the angels, perhaps in the paradisiacal gardens, Jannat within the heavens, not experiencing the tribulations of earthly life, but in a constant state of worship. His ongoing life serves as a powerful symbol of the elevation of knowledge and piety. Just as he was raised physically, his story encourages believers to seek a spiritual elevation through the sincere pursuit of beneficial knowledge, ilman nafian, and unwavering truthfulness. On the path of the prophets, Idris as represents the eternal quest for knowledge that brings one closer to the divine. Prophet Khidr, the Green One, the mysterious guide walking the hidden path. Perhaps the most enigmatic and fascinating of all is the figure known as Al-Khidr, literally, the Green. His story is uniquely detailed in the Quran, in Surah Al-Kahf, the Cave, a chapter filled with profound mystery. Though he is not mentioned by name, the narrative involves Prophet Musa, Moses, himself a great bearer of divine law, seeking out a more knowledgeable servant of Allah to learn from him. This itself is a lesson in humility. Allah informs Musa, "Then they found one of our servants to whom we had given mercy from us, and taught him from us a certain knowledge." Surah Al-Kahf, 1865. This servant, universally understood by Sunni and Shia scholars alike to be Khidr, then performs a series of seemingly destructive and irrational acts, scuttling a boat of poor fishermen, killing a seemingly innocent young boy, and repairing a wall in an inhospitable town without asking for payment. Each action, however, is revealed to have a hidden wisdom and a greater good behind it, preventing the seizure of the boat by a tyrannical king, sparing the boy's pious parents from his future wickedness, and preserving a treasure for two righteous orphans. This demonstrates a form of knowledge bestowed directly by Allah il-Laduni that transcends conventional, learned understanding. It is knowledge of the immediate divine decree, Qada, and its unseen outcome. The critical evidence for his living status is firmly established through the consensus, ijma, of Sunni scholarly tradition, based on numerous hadiths and reports from the early generation. Key among them is the statement of the Prophet Muhammad, that Al-Qidad's name derives from the fact that he sat on a barren, white fir, and it suddenly turned green with vegetation beneath him, a sign of life, fertility, and divine blessing. Furthermore, there are continuous and well-documented reports throughout Islamic history from righteous scholars, ulama, friends of Allah, awliya, and pious individuals of having encountered him. He is described as a perpetual wanderer, a guide to those who are spiritually lost and utterly sincere in their quest, for his role is that of a spiritual custodian, testing the patience, faith, and perception of those he meets, and imparting wisdom to those who are prepared to look beyond the apparent, zahir, to the hidden reality. But his eternal life is the ultimate lesson in tawakkul, reliance on Allah, and the deeper, often unseen currents of divine decree, teaching believers to trust in Allah's perfect wisdom, even when events seem unjust, painful, or incomprehensible. On the path of the prophets, Hidad represents the hidden mystical dimension of faith, where certainty is placed in Allah's plan over one's own limited understanding. 3. Prophet Elijah, the perpetual reformer, the unending call on the path. Prophet Elias, corresponding to the biblical prophet Elijah, was a fiery and determined messenger sent to the people of Baalbek in Lebanon, who had deviated into the idolatrous worship of a statue named Baal, abandoning the worship of the one true God. The Quran praises him in succinct, yet powerful verses, and indeed Elias was from among the messengers, when he said to his people, "Will you not fear Allah? Do you call upon Baal, and leave the best of creators? Allah, your Lord and the Lord of your first forefathers." Sasa, Al-Safat, 37 and 12:4, thus T. And the Sasavat, 37:12:4 Lars 112:4-6. His people rejected him with vehement denial, and he was forced to flee for his life. But his story, according to strong Islamic tradition, did not end there. It is based on hadith and classical exegesis, tafsir, from authorities like Ibn Kathir, that Elias did not die, but was elevated, similar to Idris. It is reported in authentic narrations that the Prophet Muhammad encountered both Elias and his successor and companion, Prophet Elias, during the miraculous night journey in the heavens. His ongoing mission is believed to be one of continuous struggle against falsehood. Each year, as mentioned in classical texts, such as those by Imam Suyuti, it is said that he performs the Hajjaj pilgrimage, circumambulates the Kaaba, and drinks from the blessed water of Zamzam. Furthermore, he is often spiritually paired with Prophet Kid. They are said to meet regularly, especially during the season of Ramadan. Some narratives describe them as immortal companions, roaming the earth, encouraging good, forbidding evil, and aiding those in dire need who call upon Allah with a sincere and pure heart. The life of Elias symbolizes the eternal, unyielding struggle between truth, Tawheed, and falsehood, Shirk. His undying presence is a comfort to the believers, representing the unbroken and perpetual call to monotheism that never fades from the world. It is always present in some form, whether through a prophet, a scholar, a reformer, or the righteous heart of a common believer, ensuring that the light of La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah, is never extinguished. On the path of the prophets, Elias is the eternal symbol of resilience and unwavering dedication to the call of Tawheed. 4. Prophet Isa, Jesus, son of Maryam, the awaited Redeemer, the path to the final hour. The case of Prophet Isa is the most explicitly detailed and theologically significant in Islamic sources.
The Islamic narrative of Jesus differs
fundamentally from the Christian belief in his crucifixion and resurrection for the atonement of sin. The Quran presents a clear and alternative account, a matter of firm belief, Aqidah, and for their saying, "Indeed, we have killed the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, the messenger of Allah, and they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but another was made to resemble him to them. Indeed, those who differ over it are in doubt about it. They have no knowledge of it except the following of assumption. And they did not kill him for certain. Rather, Allah raised him to himself, and ever is Allah exalted in might and wise." Surah Nasr 4. This raising, Rafa'ah, is universally understood by Muslim scholars to mean that Allah saved Jesus from the plot of his enemies, lifting his physical body and soul up to the heavens while still alive. He did not taste death. This is further corroborated by the verse where Allah quotes Jesus, "And I was a witness over them as long as I was among them. But when you took me up, you yourself were watcher over them, and you are witness over all things." Surah Ma'idah. The prophecies about his return are also unequivocal and mutawatir in meaning, narrated by a large number of companions. The Prophet Muhammad (SAW) said, "By the one in whose hand is my soul, definitely the son of Maryam will descend among you as a just ruler. He will break the cross, kill the swine, abolish the jizya, and wealth will overflow to such an extent that no one will accept it, and a single prostration to Allah will be better than the entire world and what is in it." Sahih Bukhari. Sahih currently resides in a state between the heavens and the earth, alive in a manner known only to Allah. His awaited descent before the Day of Judgment is a central tenet of Islamic eschatology. He will return not as a new prophet. Muhammad (SAW) is the final prophet, but as a ruler, imam, from the Ummah of Muhammad, implementing the Islamic Sharia. He will lead the believers, defeat the false Messiah, al-Masih al-Dajjal, establish a reign of unprecedented justice and peace, and finally, after a period of 40 years, die a natural death as a mortal human and be buried in Medina. His continued life is the ultimate sign of Allah's power to defy human plots and preserve his message and his messengers. It is a promise of ultimate justice and the final triumph of truth over the greatest deception the world will ever see. On the path of the prophets, the story of Isa is the critical link between our current times and the events of the final hour, a beacon of hope and a confirmation of Allah's ultimate plan. Common themes and divine wisdom, the unifying threads on the path. Why were these specific prophets granted this extraordinary state of life? While the full wisdom hikmah is with Allah, scholars throughout history have deduced profound and interconnected reasons from the texts. First and foremost, it is a breathtaking demonstration of Allah's absolute power, qudra, over all creation. It shatters any materialistic notion that the laws of the universe are independent of him and cannot be altered. Secondly, each prophet serves an ongoing, unique purpose that contributes to the divine plan. Idris, in his high station as a celestial witness and symbol of elevated knowledge, as a hidden guide and personal teacher of divine wisdom, to the sincere Ilyas as a perpetual warrior, ensuring the call of Tawheed never ceases, and Isa as the preserved sign and awaited Redeemer, whose return is a cornerstone of the end times. Their lives are not for their own enjoyment, but are continuous acts of worship and service to Allah's grand design. Furthermore, their existence reinforces the fundamental Islamic concept of the unseen world, Belief in the unseen is the first quality of the pious muttaqin mentioned in the Quran, and these living prophets are among its greatest components. They remind believers that reality is not limited to the material domain. What the eyes can see or the mind can comprehend is only a fragment of existence. The world is filled with signs and wonders, ayat, and the mercy of Allah operates through channels, both seen and unseen. Their stories inspire hope, wonder, and a deeper sense of connection to the sacred history that is still unfolding around us. They are a comfort, proving that the believers are never alone. Allah's help and His guides are always present, even if we cannot see them. Addressing questions and misconceptions, clarifying the path. A common question that arises is, how can they be alive for so long? What is the biological mechanism? The answer lies firmly in the Islamic understanding of miracles, mu'jiz. Their prolonged life is not a biological anomaly to be explained by science, but a divine miracle sustained solely by the will and power. If Allah can create the heavens and the earth from absolute nothingness, ex nihilo, then sustaining a creation for millennia is a simple matter of His command. And it is. Another question concerns their location and the possibility of encounter. They are not living a normal human life on earth, where we can easily meet them in a marketplace. Their existence is in realms beyond ordinary human perception. The heavens, Idris, Isa, the Barzakh, the intermediary state, which has its own dimensions, or in a hidden dimension of the earth itself, Qidr. Encounters are rare, extraordinary events, karamat, granted by Allah's permission to certain individuals of high spiritual stature, not something that can be sought through spiritual exercises or achieved through one's own effort. Seeking out such encounters can itself be a deviation. It is also crucial to clarify that their living status does not elevate them to divinity or near divinity. They are honored servants of Allah. The Islamic rejection of deifying Jesus is directly tied to the fact that He did not die, but was saved, and will return to complete His life as a human prophet, a worshipper of the one God, and a follower of the law of Muhammad SAW. They are signs pointing to God, not objects of worship. Conclusion: the path everlasting, a tapestry of enduring faith. The belief in the four living prophets is not a marginal or folkloric aspect of Islam. It is a well-grounded doctrine derived from the primary sources of the Quran, the authentic Sunnah, and the consensus of classical scholars from across the Muslim world. It adds a layer of profound depth and wonder to the Islamic worldview, painting a picture of a universe that is alive with divine purpose, mystery, and constant function. The stories of Idris, Khidr, Ilyas, and Isa are not locked in the past. They are ongoing narratives that continue to intersect with the destiny of humanity. They teach us about the multifaceted nature of knowledge, from the written wisdom of Idris to the inspired, unseen wisdom of Khidr. They exemplify different types of struggle, from the public confrontation of Ilyas to the strategic preservation and future victory of Isa. Ultimately, their eternal lives point towards the Eternal Himself, Al-Qayyum. They are living signs, ayat, that direct the believer's heart away from the ephemeral nature of this world, dunya, and towards the everlasting reality of the Creator. In a world often consumed by materialism, doubt, and immediate gratification, their existence is a powerful affirmation that the divine plan is in motion, that guidance is always present in some form, and that the forces of truth, though sometimes hidden from sight, are eternally sustained by the will of Allah. They are the eternal witnesses, a timeless reminder that every soul will taste death, save for those whom the ever-living chooses to exempt, for a wisdom that completes His perfect and majestic design. Thank you for walking the resilient Islam with us. May our journey through these sacred stories bring us closer to the divine, strengthen our faith in the unseen, and inspire us to live lives worthy of such a profound and miraculous tradition. Until our next journey.